Hello, Parham Eftekari here with GTRA. I'm joined with Adam Bosnian, the EVP of Americas for Cyber-Ark software. Adam, we've been talking a little bit earlier today about the privilege challenge, and we know that in the private sector, this is an issue that gets a lot of attention. In the government space, I'm not really personally aware of this, but help me and the audience understand. Is this an issue that's being talked about a lot today, and expand upon on that?
Sure, it's being talked more in the government sector today than it was 2 or 3 years ago. Frankly, I think that the commercial sector was a little bit ahead of the government sector, mostly because of the privilege challenge really being driven by the audits and regulations that are out there, whether it's Sarbanes-Oxley, PCI, and then the audits that are around those, and the audit reactions around the privilege challenge, whether it being unmanaged privileged accounts, or embedded credentials, or unmanaged privilege management. That's something that's been worked on with hundreds, thousands of companies in the commercial sector. I think now that it's really moved back into a big security issue based on all the advanced threats that have gone on and the fact that almost all of them have utilized a privileged account or a privileged pathway to get to the gold. The awareness in the government sector is much higher, and that's really what our goal was in coming here today, is to really start to move that awareness into a deeper education level.
Okay, fantastic. And so on that path, now that awareness is going up, what are agencies doing about it? I mean, how are they dealing with this challenge, and what are kind of the future of this in the government from your perspective?
So I think the first thing they're doing is they're acknowledging their awareness that the privilege challenge exists. Whereas two or 3 years ago, I think there were at least a fair amount of folks who say, we don't have that problem, or we've solved it in a different way, or something along those lines. So they're acknowledging it, and what we're hearing today is that they're increasingly starting to put it into their security strategy thinking. Okay. If not at the project level, certainly at the planning level, and how to bring this into what they're looking at doing across the organization. So I think that's the second step, is they're more aware. They're now bringing it in as part of their planning, and hopefully third step is bringing it down into more of the project side. What's interesting is not only have we had people acknowledge the challenges in their environment, we've had some people who feel the pain. Yeah. Right? It's not just the plain old security challenge or audit reaction. We have people say it's the bane of my existence, because right now, while we're trying to deal with it, we're dealing with it in a manual, tedious process. Sure. And I'm front and center of that, and that takes up a lot of my time. It should be something we should find a way to automate and do a little bit more formally. Okay. So that's really our goal coming here to GTRA. Second goal is to let people know there are off-the-shelf solutions that exist to solve this type of challenge out in the marketplace, and have been done by hundreds and thousands of companies out there already.
And that brings me to my next question. What is unique about your solutions and your approach to dealing with this issue?
I think there's a couple of things that make Cyber-Ark and our solutions different. Number one, we were the folks who really established this marketplace 7 or 8 years ago, and because of that, we have a deeper experience and knowledge of the privilege challenge and all the different flavors that are out there. Whether it's a human user using root or administrator gain access anonymously in an environment, or an application account being leveraged for someone to log into a database without anyone know that it's a person spoofing an application, or it's down to the level of someone doing an approved access but doing something on that system that they weren't allowed to do, doing the activity capture, the activity analysis. That's something that Cyber-Ark, I think, does better than anybody else in the business, is really understanding the problem and delivering the knowledge and experience to solve the problem, number one. Number two, breadth of product, right? We've been doing this for a long time. We've done it for 1,400 different companies out there. We have products that solve the discovery part of the challenge, that remediate the actual problem itself, that provide you all the forensic audit information after the fact, provide you the active control point to stop activity if it should be done, and we're moving even into the privileged intelligence side to give people a little bit more awareness of the overall challenge within the organization. I think the third thing that we do differently than other organizations is we really work to educate and help organizations understand that they need to fix this problem across their organization. It doesn't make sense to fix it in one estate, the Unix estate or the Windows estate, because that's where the audit finding was. You fix it there, it still exists in the Cisco environment, it still exists in your applications, it still exists on the desktops. You need to fix the privilege challenge holistically, and we help organizations understand that and then deliver products and experience to actually solve it holistically.
Terrific. And lastly, I want to ask you what your thoughts are on GTRA. We have a pretty unique model here in terms of not doing the vendor booths, allowing companies to actually sit down at round tables and talk with executives, and we feel bring the right folks to the table. So I'm wondering from your perspective, what do you see as the value and differentiator of GTRA and what we bring to the table?
I think that the collaborative sessions are very good. The difference is that they really are aimed at being conversational. Mm-hmm. And I think that creating that dialogue and coaching us to have it be more dialogue and conversational than presentational at all was a good call. Right, sure. That's really what we've done. We've done events like this in the past where that type of coaching was done, and yet you still saw people doing the regular dog and pony show. Right. Here we came in and we had certainly a list of questions and ways to get the conversation started. But our goal was to get people talking and then sit back and listen. Yeah. And to then gauge whether or not they were aware of the problem. If they are aware of the problem, how can we further educate on the problem? Or if they really know the problem, how we educate on the solution, experience, etc. So it's a great set of people that you have here. I think the way the collaborative sessions are set up are really great in terms of dialogue. And the fact that there's not a lot of people in them. Yeah. You know, sometimes I would love to have 8 or 12 people in a room. Having 2 or 3 people in a room, much more effective.
Absolutely, absolutely awesome. Well, Adam, thanks so much for your time.
Very much.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.